Hey, thanks for tuning in today. So still in Sydney, just finished a multi-day event, and I obviously can't mention the client or what we actually did. I can talk about maybe an element of it that might be interesting for this podcast, considering if you do tune in daily, you might think that I do the opposite of what I'm about to share today. What I wanted to talk about was precision in speech. And obviously, if you listen to the show, you might realize sometimes I'm not very precise. I mean, the show is really about just capturing thoughts on the go in the moment to share with you. And so sometimes, well, many of the times when I record this, I just have one word or a couple of words in mind. And for the next few minutes, I'll then riff on that. And I'm not even sure where it goes. So as I was here, I was doing a lot of filming, and one of the Substacks I wrote a couple of weeks ago was really around how to be a one-take wonder. So how do you shoot things in one go? And so obviously, like, when you're recording yourself or at home doing a video, it's very different to when you've got a camera crew and you need to land a point. But I think the practice of trying to be a one-take wonder, like this whole show is around just not stopping the recording, like continue, go, use post-production sometimes to help me. But having this training, like 140 episodes of daily shows where I'm trying to think spontaneously was great. And actually the camera guy said to me, because we're talking about doing an opening shot, and we'll spend a lot of time like setting it up, getting the microphone in, making sure the lighting was okay. And I actually said to him before he hit record, and I said, I have no idea what I'm about to say. And he said, that's perfect. That's exactly what we want. And I was like, I think I had an idea of where to land it, but I had no idea what I was going to open up with. And what a great benefit of having the daily practice of just sending out a message, because when you get to these moments where you are in front of other people and have to land it, you can. And this was also in the context of the workshop because it was being simultaneously translated, which meant that we had interpreters in the room. I couldn't do what Leanne usually does, A, speak fast, B, speak around a topic, or like kind of jest with some words. I had to be extremely precise with what I was about to say. And in order to do that, I really was very clear in my own mind of like, what are the outcomes? And then how can I explain this in the shortest way possible? And this is something that Sally Prosser and I workshop in our session called Get to the Point, which is really around using the economy of words as opposed to the quantity of words. And it's a really tough skill to be effective yet brief, to be impactful without using too many words. And there's a really great quote from Jim Rohn. I shared this in the workshop with Sally. And what he talks about is Jesus Christ. And he says, when Jesus was picking his disciples, all he did was walk up to someone and he said, follow me. And they did, like 2 words, follow me. And he was wondering, like, how can you be so brief yet so impactful? And what he landed on was sometimes what we do is we try to make up in words what we lack in confidence. And so a lot about speaking with brevity is about being confident in the value that you're about to offer, confident in yourself, but how can you be so much that you don't need to say very much? I really love that as an idea. I think it comes down to like people can detect it from your presence, but I definitely have met and worked with a lot of people that do tend to go on and on and on, and it seems like they're trying to just create value, or they think that more information equals more value. And definitely in 2025 in the attention economy, I think being succinct is a huge advantage if you're able to do that, communicate a message very quickly and with impact. I just want to give an example. A while ago on this podcast, Sarah Stoddart actually sent me a voice note around how she manages her inbox. And she did it with such clarity. It was very deliberate, well-paced language. She didn't add too much filler. She gave me the detail, but it was done in a really nice way. It was so good that I was like, hey, can I just record this and share it on the podcast because it was so good. Sarah's a lawyer, and I think she's maybe had that practice, that skill set of having to communicate with clients really quickly, again, being economical with her words. My mentor, who you know from Talk the Walk, or I mention him all the time, is Alan Weiss, rock star of consulting. And he created a really lovely word, portmanteau. The word is Breveloquence. Brevity matched with eloquence. And I think as communicators, if you want to be impactful, you've got to figure out how do you speak with Breveloquence. By the way, a portmanteau is when you combine 2 different words. So Jenny Blake has a great portmanteau, which is the word frientor, a friend and a mentor. All right, I've thrown a few different things into this episode, but how can you be more breveloquent? Thanks for listening. And on that note, I think I got to the point. I'll speak to you tomorrow.